I'm Tigerhite, and I'm here to make NWA Powerrr and Pro Wrestling Majestic again. Overall, the show was fine, but there were a few segments where I think there were incredibly questionable decisions, like 100%. So our first matchup here were the Slime Ballz taking on the Country Gentlemen. I ragged on the Slime Ballz because they are A, annoying, B, they look like botched school shooters, and C, I have no idea what Billy Corgan sees in them. Zero idea because of those two reasons. But they get in the ring, and they did exactly what that was going to happen. They dropped the effing ball. Not kidding you, no exaggeration. This is their debut match here in NWA. And they're wrestling subpar at best. Their in-ring work is really sloppy, but the Country Gentlemen are good enough to really at least pull off a fine match with these two morons. I have no idea what Billy Corgan is thinking of signing these two. No idea. And not even that, they lost. They lost the match. The Country Gentlemen won with spinebuster, second rope lariat. I like the move. So because the Slime Ballz lost and the Country Gentlemen at least can pull off a fine match with them, this gets a full thumbs up. Not because of these two morons, it's because of those two guys. They're the cool ones here. Now, this is where I have a questionable decision. This is Samantha Starr. She is the #1 contender for the Women's World Champion, who is Kenzie Paige, who is a heel. Okay, we got that out of there. So why is she acting like a heel? Of all the times to turn heel, why right before taking on a heel champion? You should have waited. You should have waited until after the match, and then you can have Samantha Starr be a heel, because then the fans don't support her. That makes more sense than doing it before. It makes no sense. Also, she's like, I want to be called Miss Star. And then she has a little lackey whose name is, I think, Chelsea. I don't care. She looks terrible. The promo was very poor. Samantha is not a natural heel. She's just not. Thumbs down. Billy Corgan, fuck you. How dare you put Samantha in this position before even thinking 4 steps ahead in a better opportunity to have her turn heel? It's not the fact that she's heel. It's really not. It's just that you could have done this so much better. She was the pumped up babyface, that second generation wrestler, and then finally, she's the #1 contender. It's like, we need to stop Pretty Empowered right now. They are just dominating the women's division. Let's get at it, and then finally lose the match, get sour on the fans because they did not support her, and then turn her heel. That would be much better. But no, they did this here, which led right into our next match for the NWA World Women's Television Champion, where said Chelsea, who's that, taking on Maxie Impaler. Max won. 100% Max won. It was a lariat for the win. It was a match. But this was Maxie Impaler's 7th title defense. And just like the men's television champion, it's the Lucky 7 rule, where if you defend that title 7 times successfully, you can cash in that title to go for the world champion. And that's what's happening here. But now Max is a heel. When is Max going to cash this in? Once again, you could have done 2 things here. You could have had Samantha Starr win the title, and then Max cash it in, and then win the women's world champion, which would have been logical. Or you could have done what I said. Have Max wait to defend or to cash in the champion until a babyface champion wins it, and then Max can win it. Either way, this was poor. The match sucked. It gets a thumbs down and a fuck you. So up next was the Outrunners taking on the New Spectaculars 2.0. Much better. A much better match. Just the fluidity. I think the new guy, Slater, or whatever his name is, I think he's actually a decent competitor. Oh, also, by the way, I think he's either partially deaf or fully deaf as a competitor, and he still worked well here. And it was a Celtic cross for him to pick up the victory for the New Spectaculars. I like it. There's good contrast. It's that contrast thing that I was talking about with Burchill, where you have the serious competitor and then you have the goofballs. And sometimes that works. And I'm going to give it a chance here. I see potential. Are they going to win the United? I mean, I would say go for the United States Tag Team Champions because we already have contenders for the World Tag Team Champions, so might as well continue with that. Like a logical build up to that. But then you have these two, have them pick up a couple of wins, really start getting into it, and then go for the titles. I think that's logical. The Outrunners suck, I don't like them, but at the very least here, they pulled off a match that I enjoyed, and I'm going to give it an Orange Cassidy thumbs up. So up next is Joe Alonzo, Ray Fury, and Luke Curtis. That was it. Triple threat match, it meant nothing. Well, I mean, it's for junior heavyweight glory, I guess. I think, wasn't it this match where the person who ran NWA's social media accidentally tagged Kalisto or Samurai Del Sol as Ray Fury? I thought that was kind of funny. I liked the match. It was fine. It was a full Nelson Bulldog. I actually really liked that for Joe Alonzo to win. They still really like Joe Alonzo. And, you know, we already, I think, 2 matches with what's his name? Colby Corino and Joe Alonzo. But I wouldn't mind seeing it again. Joe Alonzo's clearly the front runner for junior heavyweight, but we've already seen it a couple of times. He's already failed at it a couple of times. Maybe have some new fresh blood in there. We'll see, though. I'm going to give it an Orange Cassidy thumbs up. And in our main event for the NWA National Heavyweight Champion, Thrillbilly Silas Mason taking on his former tag team partner in the Indies of Devin Dixon. And you can tell that these two are partners in some way, shape, or form. They are very good together. They worked really well. And I really liked, at first, it was a friendly competition. Because remember, Silas gave Dixon this opportunity for this title in his debut match. But I liked how, as the match progressed, Thrillbilly got more and more aggressive. And finally, it's just like, okay, he's really hitting him hard. It built really, really well. And it was not a 10-minute match. It didn't have to be. They got a good story in little time. That takes a lot of talent. That takes a lot of timing and planning. And it really worked here. It was Thrill Ride for the win. I love Thrillbilly Silas Mason. He is really becoming one of my favorites. He has a good look, very unique. I like his moveset. His finisher is kick-ass, and it takes a lot of strength to do it. There's definitely potential with this guy, and I'm glad he retained the champion. Full thumbs up. Post-match attack from Southern 6 until EC3 and Jax Dane ran in for the save. Really putting Dixon in a good spot, really putting Southern 6 in a good spot, and then you're continuing the rivalry with EC3 and Jax Dane. Because remember, Dane is going against EC3, I think, next week for the title. So that's really, really good. And that was Powerrr. Let me know what you thought about Powerrr in my review in the comments down below or right over here next to me. Subscribe to the channel, become a patron, get hats, and all of that great stuff will be in the bio or in the description. And as always, be majestic.